Okay, I didn't want to leave you like that. So this is part 2 of Coffee with Me this morning. The other video was almost 20 minutes, and when it's over 20, then I can't post it in some places. So already going over 15 minutes makes it not postable in some places. But I didn't want to leave you like that, so I'm back. Because I wanted to talk to you some more. It's a long coffee, I know. So, you know, if you don't have enough coffee, go get another one and let's continue. So, yeah, it is painful. It's like breaking 28 bones all at the same time. That pain, yes. But you can do it because you only feel that pain a couple of times, and as soon as the baby's out, it's done. So, yeah, but I would say the first time, like I said, you know, doing an epidural, I would probably do it because, you know, it is pretty painful, and you have to know your pain threshold. Everybody has it differently, so, you know, if maybe you can do it. I just know that I needed an epidural that first time. The second time not, but the first time, yes. Every birth story is different, and they're all beautiful. And I hope that, you know, one day we really sit down and have a talk about birthing stories, because they're great. And then we have these beautiful children. It's wonderful, magical. One thing I want to say is that because of all the labor-intensive work that's done during the birthing process, complications happen, and sometimes in a dangerous way, where one person out of the two might not survive. And so I think that's why, you know, the right to abort up until birth, I think that's why that's like that. It's not so that, you know, somebody who's about to give birth says, no, wait, I don't want the baby anymore. It's not like that, because I think most people who don't want a baby at the time when they discover they're pregnant will take care of it early on. It's more for when it comes down to the life of the mother or the child. It's a tough decision, and it's not one you want to be having to make at the last minute. So, you know, by having that right, it's then clearer what the right path is, you know, because, yeah, although, you know, birthing a child and having a child is great, you know, the child can't take care of itself. I know we live in modern times where, yes, a child could be taken care of, but, you know, it's difficult to say who has more right to be here. Is the mother having more right to be on the planet and alive, or is the unborn baby? And that is what that part of the abortion issue comes down to. It's not really about waiting until the last minute and then saying, oh, I don't want this baby anymore. It's not that. It's being there in the birthing process and then having to make that decision. So that's why it's, you know, the ability to abort a child until birth exists because of such a reason. The health of the mother. And I'm sure it's not an easy choice. Nobody wants that. You know, you don't go through 9 months and then change your mind. No, it's not that. So I hope that helps all the people out there who are pro-life. I think abortion is even more pro-life than pro-life. Because, like I said, you know, when an abortion happens, somebody walks out alive usually. So that's the thing, you know. Prior to Roe versus Wade, many women were dying, not only in childbirth, which, like I told you in my talks last week, 12 women die every year in the United States from childbirth, you know. So it's not a done deal. It Just because we live in a modern world doesn't mean that childbirth is a given, that, every woman can have a baby and survive it. Clearly, that's not the case. So you are risking your life when you go into birth. Just to let you know. It's not, it happens. Birth happens more than not, and both people, the baby and the mother, survive it. It does normally happen that way, but there are occasions when it doesn't. And so that's something to also think about. You have to be ready for this. It's not something to be taken lightly. And just because an accident happens doesn't mean, you have to do anything. So, yeah. So I think having legalized abortions in every state is a must. There have to be enough clinics that, can do it and do it properly and safely. And because of abortion, there are more people walking around, actually, than not. Because then you have a responsible mother who then chooses, I do want a baby, and I will have a baby. And then normally she probably finds a nice person to settle down with, or if it was inside of a marriage, then they might decide later on that there's a better time to have that baby, So I think, you can't convince me that abortion is bad. It's the better and healthier choice. It's more pro-life than pro-life. More people survive. All right. So, yeah. So the gender reveal parties. Those are happening because, people are finding out what gender their baby is early on. And yes, there are, leanings towards men and leanings towards women, or, genes in us that can tell us, what type of a baby you have, sure. But the mental development in a child happens in the 3rd month, whereas the actual physical part of the body happens in the 2nd month, apparently. This is what I've discovered recently. And so what happens is what physically you are, male or female, and then there's a whole slew of variations. So this is a male, and this is a female. But then there's all these variations in between. And that you won't know about until the child is born. So with all the variations out there, it's really difficult to say, oh, we have a boy, because the mental part isn't developed yet. And that comes in, like I said, the 3rd month. And then eventually, 9 months down the road, the baby is born. And then you might be shocked because you might have a boy that looks like that, Not a boy that looks like that. So then what do you do? And the one thing I've been thinking about lately is that, you can change probably, and the doctors might be doing that already and stuff, but I think that also needs to stop. We need to stop forcing the child at birth to know what it wants to be. And if it's in this sort of zone where it might not be certain, we need to focus on that. This is where every child needs to grow, and then the parents need to notice whether the child has leanings more towards femininity or more towards masculinity. Because, how their physical body is and how their mind is might be 2 different things. They might have a male body, but think like a female, and vice versa. So I don't think anything should be done to genitals whatsoever until the child is about 10. And if there are some confusing genital issues, yeah, they can be figured out around the age of 10. So I don't think, anything needs to be done. I think every doctor needs to have that conversation with the parents. I don't think people realize this happens, and could be that doctors are doing things secretively. I don't know. I don't know where the problem is arising. But I think, you should be happy with the child as it is. And you love it and you raise it and you notice how it changes. And if you think you have a boy, but then the boy child starts acting more like a girl, accept that. It's okay. We are in a new millennium. We are grown up enough as human beings, and we know enough about science and everything, why things happen. And this is why. So you have to, as a parent, open your mind a little and gain some understanding too. And if your doctor, if your gynecologist is not talking to you about this in this way, then you might want to think about finding a different gynecologist too. So, yeah. And then, some kids will be ready to change genders or move into a different gender at 10 years old. And some may want to wait until later. I think there's no right or wrong. And I think it's between the child, the parents, and the doctors, what everybody advises. And yeah. So the gender reveal parties, I understand they might be really fun. As we know, people doing irresponsible things can cause huge catastrophes like we're watching in California right now. So this is a very sad thing. This is really sad because, yeah, it didn't have to be this way. And clearly somebody didn't think well. So, yeah, I think in general we need to really contemplate a little bit some stuff, and maybe announcing the gender at that time is not the best thing, because gender doesn't really matter. It's really not decided until a child is grown up anyways, and the grown up might even change genders during their lifetime. So I think we just need to enjoy life, enjoy your child. Yeah. And playing dress up helps a lot. So yeah, okay. So, boy, that was a big one on labor, women's labor. And there's also other women's work that I would like to focus on, but I'll save that because it's gone really long now. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about that because I find it also funny that labor, is called labor for women giving birth. It's called labor, and it's Labor Day. So also to all you women out there, happy Labor Day. If you gave birth and you have a child, congratulations. Happy Labor Day. Yes. And now let's see if we can get some rights for us as women for our labors. So we need a pension, we need vacation time, we need health care, eyes, teeth, and mental health. Because you know why? Being a mom is not a hobby. It's a job. Raising kids, it's a job. Being a housewife, it's a job. We need to be able to do this, We need to take care of our home so that our children have a place to grow. And it's not a hobby. All right. So on that note, I'm going to go. The other song, I had another song that I wanted also for today. Union City Blues by Blondie. Yes, Blondie. I like them. So 2 songs of the day. A song for part 1 and a song for part 2. I wish you a wonderful Labor Day. Enjoy.